Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Holt, and today I want to take a few moments to speak with you about the power of life insurance. Most of us have had the personal experience of having someone in our family or community pass away, and you've been burdened with trying to find money, to raise money to help cover their final expenses or to help their family transition without them being no longer here. Today, as you hear this presentation and you see it, I'm going to show you how important it is to have this type of coverage, but also how easy it is to get and apply through our agency. This is a viable strategy that gives your family peace of mind and removes the burdens of financial stress when you're already dealing with the emotional stress of having that loved one no longer be here. So, at the end of the presentation, I want you to click on the link that gives you a quote or to call me directly at the number shown on the presentation, and I'll be here to help your family right away. Let's go into the presentation now. Let's talk about life insurance benefits, and let's make this simple. So, whether you're looking for coverage for yourself or your family, we offer affordable individual and family insurance plans to help everyone get covered. But before I go into greater detail in this presentation, let's pause for a moment to watch a video showing how we help families in need. Let's watch it now.
When my mom passed away, we were devastated. The last thing we wanted to worry about was how to pay for her funeral. But thanks to the final expense insurance we had through AIBG insurance, everything was taken care of. We didn't have to stress about the costs, and it allowed us to focus on what really mattered, being there for each other.
So let's get that peace of mind for your family. Let me ask a question. What would happen if you weren't here tomorrow? How would your family face it? Did you know that 1 in 3 families face financial hardship within 1 month or 30 days after the breadwinner passes? Can you imagine? But that's the reality that your family will face if we don't secure yourself with a life insurance policy. Most people think it's just about final expenses, but it's not. It's about protecting your family's financial future, replacing your lost income, and even creating generational wealth that some people use as a strategy for their life insurance policies. And I, like you, have seen too many families struggle because they waited too long to take action. In fact, as I began today saying, many of us have had the personal experience of having to raise money or make extreme sacrifices to help a family member to cover their final expenses. Or maybe someone in your community, again, that you've had to rally around to help a family who was devastated by the loss of a loved one because they did not have money in place to take care of those final expenses. We don't want to let that happen to your family. Okay. So don't wait until it's too late. Let's take action again as a result of what we're seeing and what we're hearing today. So life insurance is a must. It's the most important protection you could have in your life. Now, let's talk a little bit about how life insurance can also be a wealth creation tool. Number one, it provides protection. It ensures your loved ones won't face those hardships that I talked about if you pass away expectedly or unexpectedly. It gives them peace of mind and resources they need to continue living with the type of security and stability that you provided. But secondly, it can be a tax advantage, especially for your beneficiaries, because life insurance payouts are not taxed and they will not be required to pay any taxes on the money that they inherit from your policy. For some, it's a strategy to ensure generational wealth passes on to their next generation. Another benefit of life insurance is something we call living benefits, because many of the policies that we offer additional provisions should a person suffer a heart attack, cancer, or stroke while they're alive. There's money often made available in their policy to help them cover those expenses while they're living. But also, some of the policies that we provide um, allow you to borrow, especially if it's a whole life or universal life policy. You can borrow monies against your policy that you don't have to pay back, and you can use those dollars as a strategy to generate more wealth, like to invest in a business or to pay something that has the potential to generate a return for yourself or your family. And then, should you decide to pay it back, you're able to and completely restore the total amount that your family would receive if you were to pass away. And finally, again, for generational wealth, this can be a tool that can be um, it can be realized as a result of you using your policy the right way, which I would be here to help you to do. So let's talk about some of your goals for getting protection and the type of coverage that you're going to need. There's three types of life insurance benefits or life insurance with living benefits. Number one is term. Most of us are familiar with that. And then the definition of that type of coverage is defined by the first word of the policy, term life insurance, which means that it's going to be active and it can be used during the policy period that you agree to, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. Should you pass away during that time, your beneficiary will receive the money that was committed to in the policy. Now, should you outlive it, there'll be no additional benefit to you or your family. So you'd have to apply for a second policy or a new term policy, should that be the choice that you choose. The one that I like best is the whole life, which is the second type of coverage. And it says it's a lifetime coverage that builds cash value you can borrow against when you need cash. But here's the other benefit: your policy premium will never change. Can you imagine, with gas being the cost that it is today, had you bought gas 20 years ago and someone giving you a card that guarantees that for the rest of your life you pay the price that you paid 20 years ago, wouldn't that have been a wise decision? Well, the same is true when it comes to whole life insurance. The cost you have today will be the cost you have forever, and that price and that premium will never increase, but the value of your policy also will remain the same throughout your lifetime. And then finally, there's what we call index universal life that gives you flexibility according to your goals for growing protection, tax free for your family. And we can put together a special program designed to meet your goals. So let's have a conversation and let's talk about it. Now, which is best for you depends on your age, your needs, and your goals. And that's what I help my clients to determine. Now, what do I do next? I want to challenge some of the myths about life insurance. And here are three common myths that are popular in our culture and in our climate. Number one is I'm too young to need life insurance. And the answer really is false. In fact, the younger you are, the cheaper it is. And because everyone dies, whether they're young or old, everyone needs insurance. Everyone needs protection. And the policies that we write through the carriers that we work with often start as young as zero up until about 85 years old. You can still get coverage. And then most of them are going to go and cover you until you're 100 or 120 years old. So everybody in the scope of life can get coverage through our agency. Number two, that is too expensive. That also is false because a healthy 30-year-old can get 500,000 of coverage for less than $30 a month. Okay, if you're healthy. Now, for all of the coverages that we provide, they don't require that you take a physical exam or medical exam. They use the Medical Information Bureau and they'll check the driver's record and they'll issue you the policy quickly, typically within about 24 hours or less after you apply. Now, here's a question that I ask people who say it's too expensive. Which one will cost you the least? Paying $50 a month, $90 a month, $100 a month for coverage, or trying to raise $15 to $20,000 in a week to pay for a funeral? Most people cannot do that. because they're ill prepared to do it and they don't have the means to do it. So the best approach and the best route for doing so is by having a policy that you can pay monthly that's affordable, but yet gives you the protection that you need should you pass away. The last one is I already have coverage through my job. And that's false because most employer provided insurance ends when your job ends. So imagine maybe you've worked for the county, you've worked for the state, or you've worked for a company for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, and now it's time for you to retire. And when you retire, when you leave the job, your coverage expires. And now maybe you're not in the best health. Maybe you face some various challenges and you're taking, a lot of medication and things are going to cost you more because you're older. So I encourage you to get a policy now so that you can lock in that rate and not have to deal with that when you're ready to retire. Okay. So what is the cost of not having insurance? Number one, the average funeral today costs anywhere between $9,000 and $12,000. And that's basic for a funeral. That's not with the bells and whistles like a lot of people like to do. And a lot of people like to go out in style. Now you're talking $15,000 to $20,000. So what am I facing? Do I handle a policy that I pay anywhere from $50 to $100 a month that can cover that expense when a person passes? Or do I risk being vulnerable and exposed to having to quickly come up with $9,000 to $20,000 if a loved one passes? You choose.
When my father passed unexpectedly, we didn't know how we would handle all the expenses. The policy we had through AIBG insurance made all the difference. The process was easy and the benefits came quickly. It gave us peace of mind when we needed it the most. It was such a relief knowing everything was covered and we didn't have to worry about funeral costs, medical bills, or other final expenses.
Final expense insurance isn't just about the money. It's about giving your family one less thing to worry about when the time comes.
We're so grateful for the protection it provided. It really brought us peace of mind.
AIBG Insurance, because when the time comes, your family deserves peace of mind.
How about the second category? Lost income over 10 years. The way I approach that with my clients is so there's greater cost beyond just paying for the funeral. We have to replace your income. So if your family was relying upon you, in the example shown here, if a person was making $40,000 a year, that means over the next 10 years, their financial value to their family was 400,000. So now if that person deceases and passes away, that's $400,000 that won't be there to help provide the goals and the dreams and the stability that the family was relying upon while you were there. So how can we replace that? Insurance is a viable strategy to do so. You need to call me so I can help you take care of your family in this capacity. And then here's another area, medical bills, the mortgage and debt. You know that not only do we leave financial stress to our families and emotional stress, but some people leave medical bills, credit card bills, and other debts that they carry, the car loans and things of that nature, and they leave their family with the burden of having to deal with that. Well, insurance is a viable strategy for helping give your family continued peace of mind and financial security after you pass. Now, I don't want you to burden your family in this way, and I don't want you to have to imagine what that might mean for them if you don't take care of your family. But let's take care of this. Let's solve this together. And it's easy for you to do. All I want you to do now is take control, right? Take action and let's protect your family now. You can call me at the number shown on the screen, 1-888-867-7192 to get your coverage. And if I don't pick up the phone, I promise to call you back within 24 hours. And it doesn't matter what day or time it is. Okay. We're licensed in like 11 states, and you'll see on our website where we are to protect you. Call me and I'll be here for you and we'll help protect your family. or you can simply just click the Get a Quote button on our website, and right away it will produce for you a quote that leads to us writing an application to make sure we can provide that peace of mind that you have worked for and that you'd like to have for your family. So let's take action. Let's get it done. Let's get the security that we need. And above all, let's do what's in the best interest of ourselves and our family. Let's show them real love and continue to give love even from the grave by taking action today. This is Dr. Holt. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to your call right now, 1-888-867-7192. Thanks.